was born to be free.
Hey everybody, it's Paul here. Glad to be back. I've just spent 4 weeks working abroad in the US, and while I was away I tried to publish some videos, so take a look at them on my shorts videos. I went sailing in the Bay of San Francisco, for example, for 4 hours, and that was fun. But I've been counting the days to get back to Sampaguita. It's Easter, it's Good Friday, and so therefore it's wet and windy. That's quite typical in this country, but we're not going to let weather stop us having fun. There's loads of things I want to do. I'm not going out today, but I'm down today to spend time working on a bunch of important things. If this rain stops, I want to fit the fuel sender in the diesel tank, and that's a job I'm actually dreading. You know, cutting into that thing, not getting swarf in the tank. It's been on my mind while I've been away, so I'm quite keen to get on with that, but we'll do that when this rain stops. And there's loads of other things that we'll do on the boat. So thanks for following the channel, thanks for watching the video. Please give it a like if you enjoy this kind of content, and let's continue improving Sampaguita as we get ready for the new season. Okay, so the first job is this pencil anode that I think will be on the other side of this. Now in theory, if you read online, it is square and a 1/2 inch standard socket will go on, but because it's a bit worn, 1/2 inch won't go on very easy. So I have bought some square sockets, and there's a 24mm square that goes on. It's slightly loose, but I don't think it will spin. I think it will turn it. I've stopped the water inlet. I'm hoping, I mean this must be, I think it's just above seawater level outside, but I can't be sure. So I'm hoping it doesn't shear. I hope we don't have any big drama, but let's try and get it off. I've got a rag ready. I've got some of these pliers ready to try and get an old one off. I have the new one ready. So let's see how this goes. That's got it, it's turning. It's turning. Yeah, that wasn't easy. Trying to guess how much force to apply. Let's see how much water comes out when it's loose. Whee! Well, I would call that a success so far. Not much of an anode left, but it's very much shorter than this one. Yeah, I'm not sure that is a success. Take a look. Take a look. Can you see that? It's more of a stopper than an anode. Let me zoom right in. Can you see inside the hole? That's quite a narrow hole. So some of these engines I read have just a stopper there, others have anodes. I don't know. To me that looks like it's a stopper. So that's what's come out. Give it a wipe. That does not look like an anode to me. Has anyone got any advice? You see, that is the same thread. What's the situation, guys? Is this anode, what we can see in there, kind of blocked? Is that what's going on? That I've effectively taken the outside thing off and the anode is stuck in there. I'll take all your advice on this, please, because about all I can do right now is put that back in. You see, that does screw on. However, if my anode is wedged in there, then I guess at least I've got one, and it's large and intact, because it's kind of blocking the hole. But it does look like there's a hole on the other side. Who's got a Volvo Penta 2003? And can you give me any advice on this, please? Now, the rain has stopped. It's about 10:30 in the morning now. I've been working for a couple of hours. You can hear there's quite a breeze, but the rain has stopped, and I'm hoping it doesn't come back. It's not forecast to. So I'm hoping I can get onto the main event and get down there and do the dreaded diesel tank sender hole. But before I do that, there's one more job I wanted to do indoors. As you know, I haven't got AIS, and so I've been very conscious when out, especially near shipping channels, that people couldn't see me. So I've now bought an AIS unit. I decided to go for this ONWA Electronics one called a KS200A, and that it's got a number of inputs, including power and ground are going to go into the bottom. It can connect to NMEA 2000, which I'll do later, and output AIS information onto my NMEA bus. It has an output to go to the VHF aerial, and it has an external GPS antenna. And then separately I've bought this, which is a VHF radio and AIS transponder splitter, so that it all runs off my VHF antenna at the top of the mast. And so I'm going to need to fit these two inside my DC panel bay. And I've got some room here on the right hand side, and I've just marked where the radio kind of sticks in. So if I go below that mark, especially for a unit close to the bulkhead here, I should be good. And then I'm going to wire it into my instruments, my navigation instruments switch on the switch panel, so that when I turn my instruments on, it also enables AIS transponder. I'll get on and wire that in now. I don't know how much detail you like from these videos, but one thing that's slightly odd is the wire, like the power and ground from this AIS transmitter, is very fine grade. It doesn't take much current, but I like oversized wires because they're so much easier to work with. So actually I'm going to do an unusual thing, try an unusual thing this time. I'm going to be running this slightly larger gauge wire for my 12-volt and ground, and as you can see here, I have wound the long stripped bit of ground from the AIS around a shorter stripped, and this is obviously tinned copper wire, and then I'm going to ferrule that, which ferrules I think provide excellent clamping, and then put that into a chocolate block. But effectively I don't need another wire out the other side of the chocolate block, because I'm taking care of it all in one ferrule, and I'm hoping that will hold it secure. And then I've tie wrapped the bundle to prevent kind of vibration and so on. I'll show you it when I've done it. So that's what it looks like when done. And if I just put this back here, I can't now pull this out. So let's do the same with the 12-volt. You can see the wire from the AIS is much longer than my wire. Wrap this around. Like that. Feed it into an appropriately sized ferrule. I'd never used ferrules before I got into boating. Crimp that down. You see how it clamps it? Yeah, that's pretty solid. And now I can secure those using a chocolate block. So it's wired in, and before I show you that, let's turn the instruments on. And we have a light for power. I have not plugged in an external GPS yet. It's really confusing actually about whether it's got an internal one or not. I have ordered an external anyway because I want to give it a good signal, but let's just see what happens to that GPS light and if it goes green. I haven't connected it to any antenna yet. The other thing I'm going to just do now is just see if it is broadcasting its little Wi-Fi configuration network, because you can join to it. It becomes an access point. I want to change the default security settings on that and enter the boat details if it will let me. So I'm going to go and do that on my laptop. So this is the configuration page, and you get, this is how it came, with kind of a default boat setting. So I get to put in my MMSI, my boat name Sampaguita, my call sign, my ship type, which is a sailing ship. I've got some measurements to do when I put the GPS antenna in order to show it where the centre is, which on a boat like this is only going to be a few metres either way. I then get to set the Wi-Fi security settings as well. So that's really good. I will work through that and let you know when done. Right, so that's the AIS install so far. So I've got the AIS unit here. It's flashing orange because it does need an external GPS, which I have on its way. In fact, it was meant to arrive this morning but didn't, so I will have to do that next weekend. And then I've got a VHF splitter which has the mast antenna plugged in up there. It has my VHF in, like the radio from the inside, because I've got a handheld as well, but this is the panel mounted one plugged there. I've got another one of these patch cables on order, which will loop through between the AIS unit and the other input output I should call it. GPS goes on there. The NMEA 2000 will go on there one day, so that I can share AIS data around the boat, but that's not a priority at all. And I've configured it all on the web. So I'll get the GPS unit and the patch cable and plug that in next week. I did a radio test just to make sure that splitter's working. I just called the marina. I didn't do it on camera, but so far so good. I'll do a proper radio test, including a long range one, when it's all set up next week, and I'll get that on camera for you. Welcome back into the lazarette. It's a constrained space here. It's a funny day. Sun comes out, gets hot, clouds come over, gets cold again. It's really weird. So here I am in the lazarette. Let me turn on the light and show you what's going on. Right, so here's the fuel tank. I think it's original. It's made of steel, and it has an inspection plate which should glide maybe after I take off. Ooh, look at this red. I've actually got some new red paint. It's just coming off. I might have to take that tap off. It should be able to rise above these studs and glide out, and then give me access. And my plan, because I need to put this fuel sender in the tank, it doesn't go all the way to the bottom, but it goes far enough that I would ever want to use. So my plan is to take off the inspection cap and then drill a hole here, maybe in the middle, away from these pickups, and that's the pickup there, isn't it? And then this is the manual fuel measuring pipe that I've shown you before. So we're sitting about third full because the tank goes below that beam. And drill a hole. How do you drill a hole in a tank? I'm going to try and take some fuel out if I can. I bought a pump because I'd quite like to inspect the inside of the tank at the same time, because these things can rust from the inside out if there's been water in there, and I know I've had diesel bug. So let's see whether that's possible. And then my cunning plan is to drill and hold this little plastic box underneath where I'm drilling with my arm through the inspection cap hatch, which doesn't sound very sensible. So I've armour plated 3mm sheet of aluminium that I've cut down at the bottom so I can't drill through it into my hand. I might even wear an armoured glove that I've bought, and I'm sure it'll be fine. But I might as well use, as my wife would say, all the PP and all the E. So we'll try and do that. No idea how hard this is going to be, but we're about to find out. To say I've been dreading this job for about a year since I bought that fuel sender would be the honest truth. I'm terrified of this job. Let's pray it goes well. Wish me luck. Okay, so I've taken off the tap to try and make it possible to feed this through. And off it comes. Look at that. Right. So we'll have a good look at that in a minute. That's inside, I can just see it, but you've got a better view than me. So we'll have a look at that. So this is central drill bit to guide it, which came undone then. Carbide steel. Okay, let's try again. Well, that worked. Oh god, that was scary. Well, I definitely captured some swarf. I'm certainly glad I did the PPE. I hope I look hot and bothered, because I feel hot and bothered. That was a horrible job. Just started putting things away, putting things back. Let me just get you down and show you. Oh. There's the fuel sender, and there's the new outlet for a future diesel heater. That was horrible, 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 dirty, sticky feeling under here to put the nuts on the bottom of these with the washers. Oh my goodness, that was hard. And also then I pumped out some of the diesel just to get a see of it and to feel what the bottom of the tank felt like. I think I can feel a bit, the tank inside the tank feels a bit rough. I think that's a sign of corrosion. So although it's not leaking at the moment, I think I need to actually replace the tank in about a year. They're about £700 to get a new one online. Tech Tank, I think it is, who make them. So actually I have got to come in here and do a bunch of stuff again, but err on the side of caution.